Assalamualaikum and hello everyone! Today, my group members and I will introduce you to our digital innovation project. Are you ready? Let's start by getting to know our group members. First, what is digital innovation? Digital is basically anything that has to do with computers, the internet, or technology. Next, innovation. Innovation is just about finding new or better ways to do things. Now, mix the two and you've got digital innovation. Digital innovation is when you use technology to make those improvements or come up with new ideas. For example, in education, it could be using apps, online platforms, or digital tools to make learning more engaging and teaching more efficient. So, why is digital innovation such a big deal in education today? First of all, technology is moving super fast. Every year, we get new gadgets, apps, and tools, right? This stuff is becoming a normal part of classroom now. So, digital innovation has become essential for managing lessons and making learning more engaging and fun. Moreover, digital innovation is making education more accessible. For example, students in remote areas can now access a wider range of learning materials through online resources. This has opened up new learning opportunities for those who might have been left out before. Okay, now let me introduce you to our digital innovation project. It is named ZOOZOOBABBLE. You might be wondering, why ZOOZOOBABBLE? Okay, so firstly, the word zoo indicates that the pupils are going to explore the world of animals. This project allows pupils to experience the zoo virtually. They are going to meet a lot of amazing animals such as crocodile, panda, lion, and many more. Secondly, why double zoo? This is because double zoo doubles the fun. We want the pupils to be interested to learn. It adds a playful, catchy rhythm that sticks to pupils' minds, which we believe will spark their excitement to learn. Now, what does it mean by babble? Babble brings the idea of fun, lively conversations. So, in this project, the pupils will babble about the animals by making the sound of animals, pronouncing the animal names, asking questions, and sharing cool facts with their friends. Okay, now, let's move on to the problem statements of this innovation. Firstly, some pupils just are not interested in animals. This might be because they don't have real-life experience with animals, like visiting zoos. So, they might not see how animals are interesting. And the next one is the absence of interactive collaboration among pupils. Pupils are not really working together in a fun, interactive way while learning about animals. Learning about animals should be something they can share and discuss, but instead, they are just doing it on their own, missing out on group activities that make learning more exciting. So, ZOOZOOBABBLE is trying to fix all these issues by making animals cool again. Alright, so the aim of ZOOZOOBABBLE is super simple. It's all about making learning animals more fun and interesting for the pupils. We want pupils to actually enjoy learning about animals instead of just staring at the textbook or listening to the same old lectures. We want to add fun, technology, and creativity into the lesson. Now, let's have a look at the objective of this innovation. The first one is to introduce pupils to a variety of animals such as gorilla, bear, and rabbit. They get to know the animal names, the pronunciations, the sounds, the characteristics, and many more. Furthermore, the objective of this innovation is to provide a multi-sensory learning. It utilizes different learning formats. For example, pupils will read stories, watch videos, and hear animal sounds. This multi-sensory approach makes learning much more exciting and helps pupils remember what they learn better. The last objective is to improve pupils' participation in animal learning. This innovation engages pupils through interactive elements such as VR videos and online game, which fosters active participation. Next, the topics that we have chosen are Module 8, Amazing Animals in Year 4, and Unit 3, Wildlife in Year 5, since our target audience are pupils in Year 4 and 5. The animals that we introduce in this project are those that are mentioned in these two topics in the textbook. Moving on, the focus skill of our project is reading. The activity involves reading a short story about animals to understand the animal's characteristics and behaviors. By focusing on reading about animals, pupils get to build their comprehension skills and vocabularies. Next, the complementary skill is writing. After learning about the animals, pupils will get the chance to express what they have learned by writing. For example, they might write postcards about their favorite animal. Writing is important as it helps improve pupils' grammar and spelling. In addition, the language focus of our project are vocabulary and adjective. In this project, we are going to introduce 10 animal vocabularies to the pupils. The vocabulary includes gorilla, lion, panda, bear, and many more. Other than that, we are going to focus on adjectives that describe the animals. For example, strong, gentle, big, and tall. Next up is applications. First, we have Canva. Canva is great for creating colorful visuals like stories. It's easy to use, allowing pupils and teachers to design engaging materials that make learning more fun. The next one we have Google Sites. It helps organize all learning resources in one place, making it easier for pupils to access the materials. Then we have YouTube. It provides a wide range of educational videos, including VR content, offering an immersive experience that keeps students engaged and excited. For feedback, we use Wakelet and SurveyMonkey. Wakelet allows pupils to organize and share their thoughts, reflections, and learning experiences in a visually appealing way. On the other hand, SurveyMonkey is a useful tool for gathering feedback, helping teachers understand what works and what can be improved in their lessons. Furthermore, for games, we use Genially and WordWall. Genially offers interactive games and quizzes, making learning more dynamic and encouraging teamwork among pupils, while WordWall allows for the creation of interactive activities like quizzes and matching games, which fosters collaboration while making learning enjoyable. These apps make learning more engaging, interactive, and creative. Now, I will pass this presentation to Kaisara. Thank you.
Thank you, Farhan Roshafka. So now, me, Kaisara Nadia, will be continuing our presentation. For me, I will be talking about development. In our innovation development, we have 5 stages. Number 1 is refining chosen ideas. Number 2, planning the implementation. Number 3, challenges and solution. Number 4, feedbacks and collaboration. And lastly, iterative approach. Now, I will be talking about our first development, which is refining the chosen idea. There are 4 parts in this. Firstly is short story. In the short story, we will be using Canva as our medium, where we introduce the 10 animals that we choose, which is gorilla, lion, panda, rhinoceros, bear, giraffe, crocodile, rabbit, ostrich, and also camel, through a visually engaging short story using Canva. It highlights the unique facts about each animal to captivate the students, such as their habitat, their diet, and also their characteristics. Second one is zoo map, where we also will be using Canva as a medium, where we present a digital zoo map made in Canva, where students can explore the locations of the animals, include clickable info icons to provide definition or interesting facts about each animals, as about where they live, about what they eat, and also their characteristics, such as them being fluffy, being big, being small, being tall, and also being short. Now, let's continue to the third part of refining the chosen ideas, which is VR integration. What is VR? VR is virtual reality, where it offers an experience where students can visit a real zoo and observe animals in their natural habitat. So we have chosen 10 different videos on the animals that we have chosen, where the videos shows a 360 view on their habitat and also their movements in it. And the students will watch it through a VR glasses that we have bought for them. So now I will show you an example of a VR video. For the last point in refining the chosen ideas, which is sounds and characteristic. We use the sound of animals and also the descriptions of their characteristics. For example, what they eat, whether they live on land or water, and adjectives like fierce, gentle, big, small, tall, short, for students to associate the sounds with the correct animal. As you can see from the examples that I have shown, the ideas that we want to do on our Canva slides is we show a picture of an animal and write a bit about their description, about their characteristics, and on the word bear, the students can click on the word bear and there will be a person pronouncing the word bear, where the students will listen and also follow. There is also an icon of sound where when the students click, it will make the sound of the animal. For example, a cat, it will produce the sound meow. So that is all for refining the chosen ideas. Let's move on to the second development, which is planning the implementation. There are also various parts on this development. The first one is platforms and tools. Now I will be talking about this one application that we are using in our innovation, which is WordWall. WordWall is an application where teachers or students can use to create interesting games using various kinds of interesting templates. On this application, we will be implementing 3 levels of interactive game, which is level 1 easy, level 2 medium, and level 3 hard. On the level easy, we will be focusing on spelling games where students spell the name of the animals. For example, the question will show a picture of an animal which is maybe a gorilla or an elephant. So the students need to spell the name of the animal by type or using jumbled words, and they need to arrange the words all together into the correct spelling. For the second level, which is the medium level, students will be tested by matching games for students to pair animals with their sounds or their characteristic. For example, the students will click on the sound button and they will hear to the sound. For example, the sound that it made is meow. So the student needs to match the picture of the animal that match the sound. And for the last level, which is level hard, this question will be incorporating jumbled questions or more complex matching tasks, like identifying the animals based on their characteristic. For example, their habitat, what they eat, their characteristic, the adjective that they've seen before that have been presented in the zoo map or from the VR integration. So let's move on to the next part. Now for the second part in the second development, we also choose to create a board game. We will be creating 2 types of board game, which is the first one, the physical board game for collaborative learning, and also we will be using an application called Genially. Genially is an application where there are various kind of templates that teachers can use to put in information, simple information, or also simple questions in it for people to interact or answer questions in a fun way. That game will be including questions that require students to recall details about the animals based on the VR integration that they have watched from the VR video and also from the zoo map Canva. There are various kind of questions that we will be using, such as MCQs, fill in the blanks, and even matching pictures or matching characteristics. For the third part is Google Sites. Google Site is where we will be hosting a central website to compile all project resources, including the short story, Zoom map, VR experience, and links to the WordWall and physical games instruction. In this Google Site, it will be easy for students to get any information about our innovation, which is ZOOZOOBABBLE, because all of the links or all of the games are provided in that, so it will be easy for them to surf through it. So now let's move on to the next part. Now for the fourth part into the second development is hardware and software. In the software, we will be using Canva for designing our stories and map, which is our zoo map and the storytelling in the zoo map. Meanwhile, the word wall will be used for our interactive game, which are the 3 levels, the easy level, the medium level, and also the hard level. Meanwhile, the Google site is for centralizing all of the materials, all of the content that we are using in our digital innovation. For the hardware, we will be using laptops, smartphones, VR glasses, and also reliable internet. It is because most of our digital innovation materials are relying to the usage of laptops, smartphones, VR glasses, and also reliable internet for the students to use it during class or outside of class. So now, let's move on to our next slide. For the third development, which is challenges and solution. For challenges and solution, now I will be talking about the technology access. For this technology access, we will be focusing on the students, where we need to ensure all of them have the access to the necessary devices that we are using, which is SurveyMonkey and also the VR glasses. For the students without VR glasses, we also provide an alternative video where students can watch the video through a 360 degree through their smartphones. They can move their phones around and the video will also follow their movement. Second is engagement. Engagement is used to maintain the student's curiosity, where we will be using an iterative learning approach where students progress through different levels of complexity, which are the activity that we will be using in the word wall application, the 3 levels: level easy, level medium, and level hard. It is in order to build an excitement by incorporating reward or like bandages or marks. For example, we will be using marks. We will be compiling marks from each level in the word wall activity that we are using. Now, let's dive into our fourth development, which is feedback and collaboration. Feedback and collaboration is very important as we developers need to see the feedback of the people that are using our innovation in order for us to improve our innovation in the future. So, firstly, we'll be focusing on the consumers, which are our students. The tools of feedback that we will be using on our students is an application called Wakelet. Wakelet is to collect students' feedback about their learning experience and engagement with the digital tools that we have invented for them. So, educators usually use Wakelet to arrange all kinds of learning materials into visual, interactive collections to share with their learners. It is sort of like Canva, where in Wakelet, educators can see the feedbacks from their students in instance. Not only that, it is also used by students and teachers in classrooms around the world to improve the content delivery, independent learning, and also digital citizenship, and so much more. For the next point in feedback and collaboration, as before, we will be focusing on the feedbacks given by students, but now we will see the feedbacks given by teachers, the educators themselves. We will be using SurveyMonkey to gather all of the teachers' insights on how well the project that we have created in integrating into the curriculum and whether it supports the learning objective that we have created. From SurveyMonkey, teacher can ask students, faculty, and people the right question to make learning experience better. And finally, for our last part in feedback and collaboration, we will be looking into the usage of collaborative learning in our digital innovation. Collaborative learning encourages group work using the application that we use, which is generally team game features, where students will work together to solve their puzzles or answers questions based on their virtual zoo visit and also based on the zoo map that we have used. Not only that, the students can also collaborate with each other or with the teachers in answering the three levels word wall that we have created. As I said before, the application generally that we will be using in incorporating team game features is an all-in-one online tool to create stunning presentations, interactive images, infographics, gamifications, quizzes, breakouts, portfolios, and etc. It is in order to enrich them with interactivity and animation effects in seconds. Now, let's move to the last part of our development. Last but not least, our fifth development, which is iterative approach. In this iterative approach, we will be focusing on the game phases. The games that we created using the application word wall will be based on 3 different kinds of level, which is the level easy, the level medium, and also the level hard. Each level have different question structure, and the higher the level, the harder the question will be. Through the application of word wall, we will be using various kinds of games, various kinds of questions such as MCQs, matching, and sorting, and also other kinds of templates that are prepared in the word wall application. For the level easy, we will be focusing on spelling games to help students learn the names of the animals and to remember even the pronunciation of the names of the animals. For the level medium, we will be using matching games where students associate sounds or characteristics with the animals. And for the last level, which is the level hard, we will be using jumbled questions that challenge students to identify animals based on more complex attributes, such as using hints from the zoo maps, from the stories, and from the VR experience. So now, let's move to the next part. Let's see here, this is the Gantt chart that me and my group mates have created from September until November since the day we first started to receive our coursework briefing until the expected report submission. Now, I will be handing over this presentation to Shasha Hadirah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, good morning everyone. Thank you so much Kaisara Nadia. So I am Shasha Hadirah binti Zainuddin, and I feel incredibly excited to continue our proposal on a project that is very close to our hearts, which is ZOOZOOBABBLE. So firstly, let me tell you on the implementation. Implementation, here when we need to do the walk the talk on our planning. So therefore, we must put our innovative ideas into practice in the teaching and learning process. Before I start to explain on the first item, I would like to share that we have 5 main items. So the first 3 items, short story, Zoom map, and also VR videos, are in the presentation stage. The interactive games in the practice stage, and lastly the evaluation or feedback form in the production stage. Now let's start with the heart of ZOOZOOBABBLE, which is our short story. So how this thing works in teaching and learning process. Now we begin with each lesson with a short story designed specifically to captivate the audience minds, especially the young minds. So each story will introduce one of the animals in a unique and engaging way, whether it's a lion roaming or a panda munching away in the bamboo forest or their descriptions. So these things are not just ordinary stories, and through Canva, we have created visually stunning slides that bring details to life, showing the animals in their natural habitat. We also asking questions and encourage predictions to the pupils so they can be an active part of this experience. So the learning in action happens here, where the students engage with this short story, their curiosity will grow. And they start to asking their own question. Other than that, Canva also plays an important role to enhance the memory retention as their visual really help. Because kids love the pictures and the bright, the clear images, and make it easier for them to understand and remember. Next, we bring the animal kingdom closer to the audience, literally, through our interactive zoo map. So how this thing works in teaching and learning. So by using Canva, we have created a map of a zoo that shows different animal habitats such as the savanna, the jungle, the desert, and many more. We need to let the pupils to make connections between an animal's environment and its physical traits. This can spark a sense of discovery and inquiry-based learning, where they are not just passively receiving information but actively seeking it out. They start to connecting those visuals with the facts they have learned. Let's move on to the next. This is where the wow factor really kicks in, the VR, virtual reality. So how this thing works in our teaching and learning process? They are not just reading about the animals anymore. They are there. They see the giraffes bending down to drink water, they hear the lions roaring from the distance. Before we dive into the VR world, I need to take a few minutes to prepare the pupils. We need to explain on what they are going to see and what they should focus on. But for the learning, this is an immersive learning because the beauty of VR is that it transports the pupils into a completely immersive environment where they can experience animals' natural behaviors. VR engages multiple senses. Pupils are not just seeing the animals, but they can also hear the sounds of the jungle. They can see the sun setting over the forest and feeling like they are right there in the action. After the VR exploration, it's time to reinforce what they have learned with some interactive games. We use platforms like Genially and WordWall, and we have created board game, fun quizzes, puzzles, and matching games. These are not just any games because each one is carefully designed to test and reinforce what pupils have learned. In the learning process, this is also learning by playing because these games are interactive and collaborative. The pupils can work alone or in pairs or in groups to help each other to solve the problem. Not only makes learning fun but also teaches valuable social and teamwork skills. The beauty of these games is that they are adaptive. The pupils can progress at their own pace. If they are struggling, the game adjusts to provide more practice. And if they are excelling in the game, they can move on to more challenging questions. So for the learning, this is also enhanced critical thinking. Because this is not just about memorizing the facts. The game challenges the pupils to think critically and apply what they have learned. Now let me explain. Before rolling the ZOOZOOBABBLE out on a larger scale, we'll conduct a test run in local primary schools. So we will be visiting Year 4 and Year 5 classrooms to test our ZOOZOOBABBLE in action. And this will happen over a 2-week period that allowing us to gather valuable feedback. The test ride is essential for gathering real-world data on how we can fine-tune the experience before expanding it to more schools. Next, let's move on to the evaluation process. Evaluation can be seen as one of the essential process as we can assess the impact of our innovation on the student learning, the audience learning, and the overall effectiveness of this ZOOZOOBABBLE. First of all, we will use Workalate for the student. Workalate allows students to express their feedback in a creative and engaging way. rather than just filling out a traditional survey. So by using Workalert, pupils can create their digital postcards or collections reflecting what they learned during ZOOZOOBABBLE. This creative output can help the pupils to consolidate their learning while providing us with feedback on how well they absorb the material. Workalert also provide visual and written reflections, as pupils can combine visual elements such as images, videos, and audios with their written reflections, which helps us evaluate both understanding and engagement. Workalert also provide insight into emotional connection. Since Workalert allows pupils to be more expressive and visual, we can also evaluate the emotional impact ZOOZOOBABBLE has on them. It is also a collaborative feedback, which Workalert is also great for fostering collaboration among the pupils. Groups of pupils can work together to create collections that reflect the collective experience of ZOOZOOBABBLE, allowing us to see how teamwork and group activities supported their learning. Next, we use SurveyMonkey for the teachers. SurveyMonkey can be seen as a structured feedback, as it is perfect for gathering structured and quantifiable feedback from teachers. Next, SurveyMonkey also useful for data collection and data analysis. The analytics tools allow us to collect, organize, and analyze the teacher responses easily. We can generate the reports and spot trends, such as whether certain activities resonated better with pupils or if there were areas that needed improvement. It's an open-ended feedback. The teachers can also leave open-ended comment to offer deeper insights. For example, they might suggest on new features, the improvements to the technology used, or adjustment to lesson pacing. Lastly, SurveyMonkey is convenient and flexible, where SurveyMonkey allows teachers to provide feedback at their own convenience without needing to take time away from their teaching schedules. The surveys can be completed on any device, making it flexible and easy to use at any time. Now, let's move on to how we want to put our innovation in the market level and to commercialize our innovation. Firstly, the Instagram. Instagram has high engagement, as Instagram is widely used across various age groups, offering an ideal platform for engaging audiences with visual and interactive content. Through features like polls, quizzes, and stickers, we can create engaging content that connects users to ZOOZOOBABBLE. Next, TikTok. The viral potential is higher than we can imagine. The TikTok's algorithm offers the potential for our video to go viral and the educational content that can capture the attention of the younger audience. It is interactive content feature also in the TikTok, like Stitch and Duet, that allow for creative engagement, enabling users to interact with ZOOZOOBABBLE content in a fun and dynamic ways. Next, we use WhatsApp. It is the most low cost and direct advertising by blasting links through status updates and ensuring that the innovation reaches a broad audience. Next, through the QR codes and Linktree. A QR code linking to our social media and Linktree will be distributed across all materials, making it easy for people to access and engage to our content. So social media platforms like this are not only popular across all age group, but also provide the tools for creative and low cost engagement. Now we have arrived at the closure. So in conclusion, ZOOZOOBABBLE is a dynamic and innovative approach to education by combining storytelling, Zoom map, VR, interactive games to enhance the pupils' understanding of the animals. Through careful implementation and continuous evaluation and the strategic marketing, ZOOZOOBABBLE promises to transform the classroom learning experience into something exciting, immersive, and highly effective. That's all from us. Thank you so much for watching the video. Assalamualaikum.